10 days from today, on 17 December 2025, I will board the flight to United Kingdom. This will mark the first time in my life that I will be boarding a one-way international flight. One way because I don't know when I will return. This is also the first time that I'll be going to the United Kingdom not on a visitor visa but a skilled worker visa because I'm going there to work as an ENT specialist in their healthcare system. In this video, I'm going to describe my journey briefly. Over the years, I've got a lot of comments on this channel when I've talked about the possibility and the process of moving to the United Kingdom from India as a doctor. And this entire journey can be divided, broadly speaking, into the following parts. The first part of the journey is about exams, not just the subject specific exams, but also English language proficiency exams. And you will find on this channel dedicated playlists where I have described my journey, my experience, how I managed to pass these exams seamlessly. A big caveat that I want to get out of the way is that I am not encouraging anyone to move to the United Kingdom from India. India is a fascinating place. I've lived here my entire life, and an argument can be made that if my life had been more successful here, then I probably would not have considered moving to the United Kingdom. But that probably is a subject of a different video. So I am not saying that every doctor in India should move to the UK, at least for some time, although there are merits to that argument as well. But I am just describing my journey and I am trying to help people who may be at different stages of their journey to the United Kingdom. Whether you want to go to the United Kingdom or not, that's completely up to you. I am not going to try to influence that in any way, shape, or form. So, also remember this is not an inexpensive process. So, if you have financial constraints, then maybe you should not really think about it. But with all these disclaimers out of the way, let's proceed to what is the second part after exams in this journey, on this journey to the United Kingdom from India as a doctor. The second part is quite important. This is the registration with the General Medical Council of the United Kingdom. And this registration process is not very straightforward, although I have to say that I have described it in a very simple and lucid manner. You'll find a video on this channel which describes the process. You cannot work in the UK as a doctor if you are not registered with the General Medical Council. And there is an additional point there. You should also have a license to practice. And once you have become a registered member of the General Medical Council, you're on their register, you have a license to practice, then you have to meet the standards that the General Medical Council has set out for every doctor. There are in excess of 400,000 doctors working in the United Kingdom who are registered with the General Medical Council. 42% of them were trained outside the United Kingdom. So that's a big number, almost half. So General Medical Council, to its credit, provides a very easy guideline regarding how to get registered and what are the steps after getting registered, what are the expectations from doctors working in the United Kingdom, and all of these things one needs to keep in mind. And I will particularly be paying close attention to it when I start working in the United Kingdom. So that's the second step. The third step is perhaps the most difficult step. That is securing a job offer from an organization in the United Kingdom. This process takes typically the longest and it's the most uncertain part of this journey, at least so far. This part about the part about securing a job offer can broadly be divided into two categories: applying for jobs and preparing for job interviews. So only if you apply for jobs are you likely to get shortlisted for an interview, and only if you have prepared really well for the interview that you've been shortlisted for are you going to get a successful job offer. These two things require different skill sets. The process of strengthening your job application requires a different set of knowledge, which I have talked about in the previous video, and preparing for your interview also requires dedicated time and energy and interest. So it's a long process. People from all over the world are trying to go to the United Kingdom to work in their healthcare system, which is widely renowned. It's one of the biggest employers in the world. So it is going to take time, hopefully much less time for you than it did for me. For me, the entire process took about 18 months to get the first successful job offer. So hopefully you will take much less time. But if you're taking time, just remember for me, it took 18 months. So if it did work out for me, it most certainly will work out for you. And the next step after getting a job offer is the pre employment process. So the organization will check all your documents. They will check whether whatever you have claimed to have done, have you actually done them? And then they will issue something on a certificate of sponsorship. I believe I've talked about that also. If I haven't, I'm going to make a detailed video on that. And then comes the logistics of moving from India to the United Kingdom. Recently, I was with a few colleagues, and one of my senior colleagues asked me that am I leaving something behind in India or not? And don't get me started on that. I am leaving so much behind, and as I said, you have to make that call on your own, by yourself, weigh up the pros and cons, and think about it. It is a difficult decision. It will involve sacrificing. Of course, in India, we are quite familiar of moving within the country. We are a big country. We move from one part to another, usually in search of opportunities. And sadly, for good reasons or for bad, we are a country where we also move outside the country in search of different experiences. So that does involve not just booking the flight tickets, getting the required visa, but also accommodation. And if you're based on your family situation, maybe having your family move overseas also, which is an unenviable task. So that part is what I'm going through right now, getting my affairs in order in India. And maybe we can talk about that in a different video. And finally, it comes to life in the UK. What I want to emphasize enough is that you do get help. People are aware of how difficult the task is, and they will reach out to you from your future workplace in the United Kingdom to help you settle in as much as they can. And you should also try to reach out whenever you have any queries. And mostly, in my experience so far, over the last 2 months or so, I have inundated the people who have reached out to me with queries, and they have been kind enough to reply every single time. Now, let's answer the one question that must be bothering long term viewers of this channel. Why am I wearing sunglasses? So, one of my favorite movies of all time is a Bengali movie from 1966 called Nayok, starring one of the biggest actors, if not the biggest actor the Bengali film industry has ever seen, Uttam Kumar. And this movie was directed by arguably one of the greatest film directors the world has ever seen, Satyajit Ray. In this film, the protagonist, Nayok, played by Uttam Kumar, used to wear sunglasses when he donned the persona of the superstar, of the Nayok, of the actor, of the hero. And whenever he was playing the role of a normal person, he would just remove his glasses. So I'm donning the glasses when I am about to begin my journey to the United Kingdom. Whenever I'll be talking about United Kingdom and the process of moving there from India, I will be wearing these sunglasses. And if I forget, do remind me in the comment section. So in future, the videos will talk about either the exam preparation process, although there are many videos on that, the GMC registration process. There is the video. There is a dedicated playlist on that. The process of securing a job offer, applying for job offers, how to strengthen your job application. I might talk about that also, although I don't claim to be an expert on this issue. Preparing for the interview, this is something which is subject specific, because there are subject specific questions. I cannot answer every subject's specific questions, but I can give you general advice, because you do get a lot of non-clinical questions also, behavioral questions, motivational questions, ethical questions. Those questions I can give an answer. While preparing for my interviews, I did record sample answers, and maybe I can upload them, and maybe we can criticize those answers in the comment section together. So that is something I do intend to do, uploading sample answers to interview questions. If you are from ENT background like me, then maybe we can make ENT videos. Maybe I can help you with some of the answers I prepare, and maybe you can answer it in a much better way. So that is something also in the pipeline. Hopefully, I'll get time to upload those videos after moving to the United Kingdom. And then there is the element of moving to the UK, which is probably similar for everyone, irrespective of the medical background you are from. Mostly, if you are from India, then it'll probably match entirely with my process. So I'll talk about that also, how to move from getting a conditional job offer to actually moving to the United Kingdom. That process also will be described in future videos. And also, I will talk about life in the UK once I am in the UK. So stay tuned. And as I have always reminded my viewers, please don't forget to be awesome.